up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Bass Bound Fishing.
We're out on the water right now on our John boat, but we're about to go hitch it up, bring it back to Wes's house. We're going to give you guys a tour of our boat with all the gear in it, so make sure to stay tuned.
Alright guys, we just got back from the lake, got the boat in the garage and got it all organized, and now we're going to start our boat tour, so make sure to stay tuned.
So first of all, this boat is a 1962 Sea King V-Hull John boat that's about 14 feet long, and when we got it, it was pretty crappy, but if you want to see the conversion and how we converted this boat to what it looks like now, make sure to click on this video right here, which is part 1 of our John boat to bass boat conversion series. But now let's start on the boat tour. I'll start with the motor. Right here we have the Minn Kota Endura 40-pound thrust trolling motor. And we don't have an outboard gas motor simply because the 3 main reservoirs we fish only allow electric motors because they're drinking water sources. But next up, right here we have our main GoPro mount. It's usually where you put the light, but when we're not using the light, we'll put this GoPro mount in. It's our main one right now, like I said, but if you guys have any other ideas where we should put some GoPro mounts to get good videos out, make sure to comment that below. And next up, I guess I'll open the main compartment right here, which is a pretty big compartment. And back here, we have all the main weight back here between 2 batteries and an anchor, but we also keep all of our soft plastics back here, and we have them somewhat organized. Like over here, we have our drop shot and finesse baits, and then all the storage goes all the way to the back of the boat. So back there, we have tubes. Right here we have crawls and punching baits. Right here we have Senkos, creature baits, and just a bunch of other unique soft plastics back there. So back here is just loaded with all of our plastics. And on this side we have, there's a Tupperware container back here that has the bilge pump for our cooler live well, and that just has suction cups on it, so we pop it out whenever we're not using it. We put it in here because sometimes it has some leftover water in it, so we don't want that to leak all over the boat and all over our stuff, so we just put it in this so the water stays in here. And back here we also have a little 360 box right here where we keep some tools that we need in case anything goes wrong. We also have our first aid kit right here, which is a necessity. And another little container here where we keep all of our fishing line. So all that's back on this side. Moving on to the batteries, right here we have our main back battery. We'll hook the trolling motor and the live well up to this. It's a 12-volt EverStart battery. And right here we have a backup battery. If we ever run out of juice on the other batteries, we'll just hook it up to that. And then on the other side here we have some dock line and our anchor as well as our anchor line. So that's all the stuff we keep in the back compartment. And the back deck in general is just a nice deck. It's our smallest deck, but it can still fit about 2 people and is pretty stable. So now let's move on to the middle deck. Alright guys, moving on to the simplest deck on our boat, which is the middle deck. It's a step down from both the front and the back deck, and it's very stable. It's a good spot to come and rig up baits. And back here, the main part of the middle deck is our 70-quart Coleman cooler here. We use this as just a normal cooler, a live well, and our back seat. In here we have things to use as a live well. We have the Super Saver live well system. We don't have the bilge pump in there because that is in the back deck, but it's really easily to remove, and you can use it as a normal cooler. Like I said, usually we just use it as a back seat, and it's just a nice fishing cooler. It's got drink holders and measurements here to measure your fish. And other than that, like I said, the middle deck's pretty simple, but right here we usually keep 2 or 3 rods each out on the deck that we know we're going to use that day. So we can fit 2 or 3 rods on both sides pretty easily. We keep our net there. Everything's easily accessible, but that's about it for the middle deck. Let's just move on to the front deck now.
Alright guys, so now onto the front deck. It is the most complex deck out of all 3 decks. As you can see right here, we got our triangle seat. This is great for when you're using the trolling motor or you're just tired and still want to fish. That seat's really nice. As you can see, we have it mounted in here. Very sturdy, and it's one that can move up and down depending on your height, so that's awesome. Right here we got our Lowrance X37TX fish finder. This is not mounted in yet. That's the only thing that we have not completed on the boat yet. But it's a pretty good fish finder for what we need it for. Moving on to the main hardware for this boat is the Minn Kota Edge 50-pound thrust foot control trolling motor. This thing's very helpful when fishing and using the motor at the same time, and gets this boat moving pretty quickly. But now I'm going to jump in the boat and show you guys what we keep in our compartments. Alright guys, so on our front deck here we have this slot that we cut out of the plywood where we can easily access our scissors, pliers, scent, and scale. This is very helpful when rigging up baits. You don't have to go digging for your scissors and pliers. They're all right there and very accessible. Next, moving on to the right compartment here, we have our boat registration. This is very helpful to have out in case we're going to get checked by the DNR or something. And right here we have our boat checklist. This is to make sure that we have everything that we need. We can check this before we go out just to make sure we're not forgetting anything. Down in here we have our rod box. It can keep about 10 rods in here pretty easily, but once you get over that limit, it starts getting a little crowded. But it's about 7.5 feet long, so it can keep the longer crankbait rods that we have in there quite easily. Now I'm going to move over to our hard bait and tackle storage. Over here, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of tackle up here. All this stuff, all these boxes right here are Eric's, and some of them are back under here that we don't use too much. But as you can see, we keep it in a large Tupperware container so that nothing falls into the bottom of the boat. Right here we have our box for trash. Anything that we keep out on the deck, we like to keep it very neat, so we just toss it in there. We also got some hand sanitizer in case we're eating lunch out here. We got our sunscreen. And number one thing is our bug spray, just in case there's a bunch of gnats out there on the water. And also down here, this is where we keep our things like our boating license, our marker buoy, GoPro stuff, just everything we need to have a good day out there and get some good footage. And as you can see, this is where I keep my tackle right here. All my boxes, very accessible. You can grab in there, pull it right out. Very accessible. So that's pretty much it for the tackle up here. And also, as you can see up here, this is where we keep our life jackets. The lakes we fish around us don't require us to wear it because they're not gas motors. So as long as we have them on board, that's fine. You can have as many as the people on board, and that's all you need. And also, tucked up here is our battery to the front trolling motor. It's a 12-volt, 29 DC motor, Everstart, just like the one in the back. So that's a very reliable battery. Holds a full charge, and we've had no problems with it. So that's pretty much it for the front deck, guys. And the trailer is a 1958 trailer, handmade, very old. So that's pretty much it for the boat.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. That was it for our full Custom John boat tour. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up if you guys liked it. And if you have any questions whatsoever on how to customize your own John boat, or just questions about ours, feel free to leave a comment below, and we'll do our best to answer it.
Also, guys, make sure to follow us on Instagram @BassBoundFishing. And that's it for this week's episode of Bass Bound Fishing, and we'll catch you guys next time.